Let the lag fest begin. Let me turn off the preview. Hopefully that helps better. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining. Clumsy here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Patch 3 is here. And what horrors await us, we will see. But in this stream, we will be checking out Japan, Tokyo in particular. We'll try to recreate the trip we had 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago now. This is Clumsy and I went to Japan, to Tokyo. And what better time to do that than when we have all these beautifully remade, handcrafted areas. So thank you guys for joining. How are you doing? Glad to see a couple of guys. Very familiar faces. If there's anyone that's new, hello. Feel free to join us in chat. Thank you for joining, Tom. Scotsman. Always battle between the firsts. Hey, Patrick, GG, how are you? And Tom, that looks like a monster PC. That should have no trouble running Flight Sim at all. Alex, glad you made it, man. Thanks for joining. How have you been? What's the news? Hey, Lucy. Yes, also waiting for Western Star. The official truck has released, right? I think that was what, yesterday? V3D, thank you for the sub. 8 months, goodness. Long time no see. Way to make a comeback. Thank you for joining, man. And glad to see that you are enjoying Flight Sim as well. Despite all its hiccups, quirks. Missionary Bush Pilot. I think I saw him. He flies a... I forgot. But the plane he flies isn't in the sim at the moment, right? He flies there. Yeah. Hey, Calvin. Hello. How are you doing? Ooh, fancy. I hope this doesn't cause any problems. But I just updated OBS. It's now in version 26. And they made the thing, the audio sliders, much smoother. Maybe I can show you just a little bit, a peek behind the curtains a bit. See that? Yeah, this one. The audio equalizer things, they are much smoother now. That looks so good. Because before it was 30 Hz, they made it 60 Hz. Small update, but yeah. And when I say disabling the preview, this is this one. Because when I enable it and I move it to a different screen, that's when the refresh rates clash. And yeah, that's causing the frame drops. So I have to disable the preview to avoid that issue. 10 minutes before 8. Oh, that's awesome, Tom. Thanks a lot for the commitment. Glad to see you here. Had to upgrade your CPU from a 7600K to a 9600K and the stuttering in FS vanished. I can imagine. For me, I upgraded recently from 16 to 32 gig RAM. It helps a lot listening those stutters. A Kodiak, there you go. Yes. Not very familiar with the plane, but I do want to watch him as well. But oftentimes I watch those guys who fly the same planes that I'm interested in. Like recently, oh, what's his name? I forgot his name, but he's a very prominent YouTuber as well. He flies a Bonanza, what you're seeing in front of us. Although not the glass cockpit version, more with the steam gauges. But we'll be flying with the Beechcraft Bonanza G36 today. It's a piston engine, so not that... It is pretty powerful for its size though, so quite nice. It's not pressurized, so we won't be going high up in terms of altitude, but that's perfect because we'll be doing a lot of sightseeing. So this is going to be perfect because it's going to be fast enough that you can travel and explore more areas, but it can be slow enough that you get to enjoy those areas as well and not just breeze or buzz through them. 6 cores made all the difference, I can imagine. Yeah, it's a powerful... The sim is very hungry in both CPU and GPU. More on the GPU, but CPU wise it is also it drinks up all the cores. Well, not all, but you get my point. Got the stream going through your subwoofer. Yikes. Well, wait for them to come in and complain, and then when they do come in, invite them to watch. Maybe they'll get a bit relaxed. We'll see. How's it going on your end, guys? What have you been up to? Trucking recently? Checking out other games? Checking out new mods? Let me know while we're loading things up. Hey Jay, glad you made it. 28 months. Goodness. It's amazing. How's your 2080 Ti at 4K Ultra 30 FPS doing? Bet it's enjoying Japan. Now there is a tour of Japan. And this is actually pretty nice. It doesn't have any voice or any storyline or whatever, but it does have fixed waypoints, and it leads you to all the handcrafted areas. So it's a good way to explore what is new. But what I don't like is you're fixed in the terms of the plane unless you're in developer mode. So you can only fly the King Air 350, which I'm not really familiar with. And I don't know, for me, for sightseeing, the King Air seems to be a bit excessive. Having multiple engines, having turboprop, multiple engines, I don't know. I would rather go with a smaller, slower plane to enjoy the sightseeing. So instead of taking the normal route, I wanted to recreate the trip in real life so I can relate, and maybe I can even show pictures later on. We'll see. There you go. Hey Xarkas, sure thing man, enjoy. Good luck with work. We'll keep you company. So we'll be starting off in Romeo Juliet. Oh, I just realized that Japan is actually Romeo and Juliet. Alpha Alpha. How romantic, these guys. Alright. Okay, so yes, we'll be starting in Narita International Airport. This is where we landed when we went here. Now there are, I think, ramps for the GA. That's good. Let's go and pick. And expectedly, there are a lot of multiplayer planes here. I do have generic planes still set to on as that workaround for the phantom plane issue, if you're familiar. I'm not sure if I still need it, but I'll be keeping it on until I hear news that it's safe. Okay, just to be on the safe side. So let's go with live here, live weather, live time. Everything looks live, everything looks good. 28 at 17 knots, wow. Okay, well, I hope that's good enough for this plane. I think that's well within the boundaries. Alright, and the tail number, oh, that's interesting. I think the tail number is getting saved now. You don't see it in my screen, but I put in Romeo Papa 1 Charlie Lima as a tail number previously when I did the test flight, just to check out the new patch. And I exited the sim, I entered the sim again, and the tail number is still there. Oh, very small quality of life improvement, very much appreciated if that is indeed the case. No, I was just checking how your 2080 Ti is doing, Jay. So I saw the posts you'd made in Discord flexing your 2080 Ti 4K Ultra 30 FPS. The flex is real. If the cities in Japan look as good as they did in that screenshot and you're glad not to do your flight. Yeah, it is pretty promising from the photos. We'll see how it looks, expectation versus reality. But yes, we'll do our best. Life goes on. Yeah, I heard about the recent challenges, man. Hang in there. We are here to help distract you or just share the burden somewhat. Ease up. Feel free to share if that helps. I was going to say, notice the notes, the ATC info is saved. Ah, cool. Yeah, I didn't read that part. Cool. So in terms of mods, guys, as with all the mods, as with everything in the modding community in any game, whenever there's a new update that comes in officially from the developers, chances are the mods break. So as a precaution, all the files in the community folder, basically all the mods, I moved to a different folder. and I only have one mod right now that's active, and that is the G36 improvements that I am trying out. So it is supposedly making this plane even more realistic, making the flight model more accurate, adjusting the performance to match the pilot operating handbook and things like that. So we'll see. The author has been very fast. He already made a post-patch update just to make sure that everything is working, and people are reporting that it's working fine. So hopefully that is indeed the case. And let me know if you're seeing excessive frame drops. Don't expect 60 frames, but it shouldn't be either. So let me know. Whoa, looks like someone drank a little bit too much last night. There you go, we're back. Okay, it works good. Crysis Remastered plays on 4K with 60 FPS on very high settings. Great to hear that your PC is back and working fully. Okay, congrats. Now that looks live weather, doesn't it? That definitely looks like live weather. Awesome. Let me turn on little nav map here. You've taken your mods out. That is the good way. Coming from ETS2, we should be pretty familiar with the modding logic. What is that sound? Is that wind? Went default to OpenGL. Oh, that's weird. Setting back to DX fixed it. That's good. It is the wind. It is the wind. Yeah, because we saw that it was like 18 knots, 16 knots right now. If you look at little nav map, it detects the wind information from the flight simulator and puts that here. We have 16 knot winds and it's whistling right now. Hello, Japan. So we are currently... Oh, there is someone here. That might be a... No, I don't think that's a player. Unless they also fixed the SIM Connect. Because before, you couldn't see players in little nav map yet, only AI. Not so sure. Maybe those are AI. But yeah, those are all AI planes. Parked. That's the Narita Airport. They have 2 physical runways, 4 approaches. Very large airport. And looks like we should be departing runway 34 left. That's the closest one to us. That's favoring the winds a bit, although still pretty crosswindy. So don't expect a good takeoff. But I'm trying to look for the train. I guess that might not be a good... Or is it this one? I see. That might intercity, is it? But yeah, we will try and trace this E51 route. I think the train line is underground, so we won't be able to see it. But that at the very least should be a highway, I'm expecting. So we make our way west. That puts us in Tokyo. And we'll see what I can remember, what I can find. And as we go through some of the areas, if something clicks, if something resembles something that I remember, I can maybe show even pictures. Oh, there's even a boat here. Interesting. Where is Disneyland? I think it's somewhere here. Oh yeah, this one. Tokyo Disneyland in DisneySea. Let's fly over that as well and see how it looks. I'm not exactly sure if they modeled, handcrafted the entire Tokyo or just some parts of it. I didn't really read much. But yeah, we will try. Good. So let's set it up here. BOR on Narita is 117.9. Man, that whistling. And let me try and remember the start-up sequence in here. Got the 2 RAM sticks replaced. Awesome. Congrats. So they were defective RAMs. Turn on the batteries. Turn on the beacons. Oil pressure low. Buses tied. Yeah, even these annunciations, these are reflecting real life annunciations on the plane. And I believe this is part of the mod already. That is normally not there. The bus is tied and everything. And the oil pressure low. When you get your PC, maps and sites? Well, you can start with the mods list, and when you have questions, let us know in Discord, and I'll try to help you out. Looks good there. Now, what do I try to remember? There's a checklist here. I think even the checklist is part of the... Yeah, look at this. All these checklists are part of the mod as well. Normally, there are only 3 sections here until after starting the engine. But no takeoff, climb, nothing like that. So let's try it. Let's try it. Parking brake is set. Well, not yet, but let's set it. All switches off. Landing gear handle is down. Trim tabs are neutral. Wow, amazing how they can set that. Okay. Battery 1 is on. PFD reversionary mode. Interesting. What is that? But I think it's basically the PFD is listing all the instruments, because normally some of these will be listed on the MFD. But since you don't have avionics on yet, everything is in the PFD for the moment. Good. Engine system pages. Bus 1 is not less than 23 volts. Where do you see that here? You guys see something? Never used mods on games. Yeah, don't start until you feel you're ready. Hey Sky, how are you? Taking off won't be an issue. Well, I took off a while ago when I was testing stuff, and it was an issue. So no promises even on that point. 2 RAM sticks were faulty too. Ah, I see. Good evening, Bri. How are you? How are you guys? What have you been up to these days? Look at that. Our true airspeed is 14 knots even if we're not moving. Is it because of the wind? I guess so. Let's have a look at the wind here. Wind option 3. Yeah, 16 knots. Can you show me where that is? Bus 1. Oh, this one. That one. Bus volts. 2 volts less than bus 1. That is super accurate. So that's in the green, and then bus 2 is 2 volts less, so it's a bit behind in terms of that one. And then you turn on battery 2. Oh, I fast forwarded it. No, that's okay. But let's just go and check that. Standby attitude. Wow, this is so detailed. This is like study level checklist. That is amazing. Flag pulled. Okay. Beacon checked and off. Well, I turned it on just now. Free and correct. P5 checklist is complete. Alright. Okay, there you go. Parking brake set. Everything looks good. Throttle is closed. Propeller is high RPM full. Mixture is full rich. Cowl flaps open. Oh, that's new. That's not part of the original checklist, I think. Flaps are up. Batteries and alternators are on. PFD reversionary mode is verified. If that is indeed what I think it is. Alerts. Oil pressure low, that's okay. Fuel remaining on PFD. Fuel remaining is in the green. Middle, left and right tanks. Okay. Fuel selector, select fullest tank. There is the same. Verify that aux fuel pump operates. That's this one. Turn it on. There is no throttle. This has been revised a bit. Okay, that works. Complete. Alright, start the engine. I like it. Very detailed. Open throttle fully. Does that mean full throttle? Propeller high PM, mixture full rich. Aux fuel pump, fuel flow peaked. So we turn on the fuel pump until the fuel flow over here on the PFD peaks out, and then we turn it off. Right now it's in a static value there. So that looks good. Oh, fuel pump is off. Throttle set to 1/2 inch only, around that point. Then we start the ignition. Clear prop. Looking good. Throttle set it to around 1000 RPM. And that's complete. Good. You're a bit tired. Yeah, start with the vanilla first off, don't add mods first. When something feels lacking and you're craving for something more, then add mods. But start with vanilla. Long day in the T range, rigid, doing some Amazon and post-transferring. Parcel? Ah, awesome. Well, thank you for your deliveries. You are the modern day superheroes. Oh look, that actually moves. Even with parking brake, that's nice. Keep forgetting there is a checklist in game, and yeah, and this mod makes this super comprehensive. Normally, before the mod, there were only 3 sections. So this one, you can make it as hardcore as you need. While pressure is in the green, avionics can go on. There we go. Now it's not anymore in reversionary mode, if that's what it means. Air conditioner as required. Now currently it is 18 degrees outside, so we don't really need the AC. But that is also part of the mod. Normally you wouldn't be able to move that switch at all. I kind of wish that there was that aircon sound though, the blower sound. PFD and MFD normal mode, yes indeed. Alt 1 has positive load, alternator 1. Yes, green there. Alternator 2 has no load, good. Bus 1, bus 2. Bus is tide alert, yes. Lights as required. Let's turn on our panel lights here so we have better looks. Let's turn on our nav lights, strobes, and taxi landing lights. We'll turn that on later. Good. Radio comm and nav. Let's set the VOR for Narita 117.9. That should get captured there. Perfect. Show the DME. We are 0.9 DME from Narita VOR. Course. Let's set the course to the runway heading, which is 336. I'll get back to chat in a bit, guys. Sorry, the workload in the beginning is quite intense, but I will get back to you. 336. That looks good. Also do that for the runway, the heading rather. There you go. Okay. Some AV detect ETS and ATS as a virus. Oh, really? Interesting. LG gaming screen. LG gaming monitor. Oh, you delivered some LG gaming monitors? Oh, lucky guys who got that. Cool. Altimeter PFT, set the baro. Right now I'm just going to press B to get that default altimeter, or that local altimeter. CDA nav source is good. Transponder will be going 7,000 or VFR. Well, VFR, I'm not sure what it is in this place, but okay, fine. Altimeter pre-select will be flying at 1,500 feet only, cruising at 1,500 feet, so we can enjoy the views below. Flight plan, no such thing in this case. Brakes test. Let's see. Well, they are sounding off, so that looks good. Run up. That is intense. We'll skip that. That is okay. Before takeoff. Pitot heat as required. Lights as required. Lights. Okay, transponder set. Okay, let's work on that later. Let's make our way to the runway first. Releasing the parking brake. Taxi lights on. Let's make our way to the runway. I saw in the patch notes they also changed the taxiing logic. It doesn't feel like there is the sticky brakes anymore, and it feels so much better. You don't have to like throttle, don't go full throttle and then bring it back immediately just so the plane will move. It feels much more natural now. It's great. Transfer from the waterhouse to the post distribution, from the warehouse. Is that autocorrect doing its work? Awesome stuff, man. Well, glad to see that the Renault Range T was working with you. Now this plane has some very nice visibility. If you look at the back, you see almost entirely at the back there thanks to all those windows. And even though it has a low wing right there, it doesn't really impede the visibility that much. I like it. I think I'll be flying this aircraft more often, especially because it is getting those realistic mods in place. Autocorrect kicking in, I can imagine. Alright, so it's going to be a long taxi, guys, because this runway is 13,000 feet long. One of the longest runways I've seen. Normally 10,000 is what I see in major airports. So yeah, you can imagine though, because this is Narita. Huge hub for all the airlines, I would say. Even as I'm taxiing here, I'm actually applying right rudder. The weather looks like what you had there yesterday. This cloudy, kind of overcast look. Not fully overcast, maybe more of broken. Might be taxiing a bit too fast. That's okay. Earlier, I actually saw someone here doing an approach on this exact runway, but they did a missed approach. They didn't land fully. Maybe they were just doing a low approach. But I would bet that was a real player, because I have the labels turned off for better immersion, so I cannot tell if it's AI or a real player normally. Let's turn off here, turn to the right, and then get a bit closer to the runway so it's a bit more interesting. One there, okay. We had a huge thunderstorm and it continued till like 2 hours ago. Ooh, yikes. Hopefully it didn't affect the electricity. Some colleagues of ours, when the weather is very bad, the electricity gets cut, and I can relate to that fully. In the Philippines, that's also a very common thing. So before, when I was still based in Manila, whenever it rained so hard, I was like, oh, here we go. Like getting ready for the brownout, we call it. If it's a big, wide power outage, it's a blackout, but if it's more localized, it's only a brownout. Don't ask me why, but these are the terminologies that we've come up with. And then we would get ready the candles already and stuff like that. But nowadays you have a laptop, you have mobile data, so even if it's brown out, continuing with that term, it's still not bad. Well, look, there's actually someone on final. You guys see him? See the strobes flickering from a distance? He is quite far though. Still quite far. Sunny with temperature of 21 degrees. 7 miles per hour. It affected the power, but only for 30 minutes. Sounds good enough. This is actually not the end of the runway, but this should be more than sufficient for our needs. Yeah, that guy is still far away. Let's take off from here. Actually, you know what? Let's do those checklists to be on the safe side. Okay, before takeoff, pitot heat. Do we need pitot heat? It's 19 degrees outside. Nah. Lights, turn on strobes, landing lights. flaps. Normally with this plane, you don't need flaps when taking off. Transponder, yes, that one we need. So we go on altitude. Rotation speed is 73 knots. There you go. Flaps up. And checklist complete. Takeoff. Takeoff power set. Buses start alert extinguished. Parking brake released. All temperature and pressures. That guy is quite near now. Oh my goodness. Let's race for it before he approaches final. Okay. Scratch that landing checklist. We're on our own here. Alright, we have a huge crosswind from the right. So we'll apply right aileron deflection here. Takeoff power is set. Buses tide annunciation has been extinguished. Ignore that RPM warning on the left. Or on the right rather. 73 knots. Yeah. Rotate. Did he actually go around because of me? I'm sorry. Oh, that actually went much better than I was expecting. Proper crosswind deflection there. Proper crosswind takeoff. Awesome. Positive rate, gear up. Tap the brakes. And yes, this plane does have a landing gear. Well, that was fast. It's already been retracted. Cool. VY. Best rate of climb for this plane is 100 knots. We are in Tokyo, yeah. Romeo Juliet Alpha Alpha. Narita Airport. Never look behind you. We might have caused a problem there, but they can't shout at us, so that's fine. I hope they don't remember my name. I hope they didn't have labels on. That beeping sound is just the ILS. It doesn't mean there is anything wrong with the plane, so don't worry. Alright, here we go, 1,500. We have reached it already. Now, I have been referring to a document that Swappy shared. There is a knowledgeable guy in the forums who gives out the information about the different phases of flight in this plane. Has a bit of guidance. 25 manifold pressure and 5 inches of manifold pressure. Is that how you say it? 2,500 RPM for cruise, and we should be okay to close the cowl flaps. That is normally used only for takeoff, so that the engine can breathe. Has a bit of exhaust in there. Okay, good. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm trying to fly level here, but there you go. Welcome to Tokyo, everybody. Let's go and look for that highway, and let me try and maintain level flight here. Hey, Gamer Mickey. I think it's around 9 gigs. No. So to be fair, to be accurate, there are a couple of different steps you need to do. There are 3 main updates you need to do. You need to update the launcher. If from Microsoft Store or Steam Store or Steam, go there and update the launcher. And then once you go inside, the sim would detect that there's an update. The launcher update is around 600 megs, so very small. Then the launcher would detect there's an update and it would download the updates. That would then be around 8 or 9 gigs, I think. And once you're done with that and you're in the main menu, you have to go into the marketplace and download the Japan World update. Japan World update is around 1 gig. So all in all, around 10 gigs. But yeah, 3 different updates. So not the most user-friendly, but it should be mostly transparent or straightforward and automatic. Loving the look of this. This definitely looks like Japan to me. Quebec. 15 degrees. 310, there you go. For me it was 600 I think from Microsoft Store. It is very bumpy as you can see. Very strong winds. But that's okay. So the highway should be right below us. Yeah, this one. Guys see in front? So we should be able to follow that all the way through if we head to the west. Ooh, that's bumpy. 10 gig update is reasonable for most games these days, yeah. I mean, I have no complaints. Internet, thankfully, is not a problem for me at the moment. So I just booted up. When I woke up, I booted up, started with the updates, made my cup of coffee, and when I got back, it's done. So, pretty effortless from my end. There's the highway on our left. Keep that in view. And if you guys see anything interesting up ahead, let me know and we can fly there. Okay. No restorm, that's exactly why we are here, to chat. So don't worry about that. More than welcome to chat. Pretty fast here actually, but that's okay. 154 knots. We can tone it down later if we need to. Kind of hard to stay level though with the winds and with all the looking around. Alright Jay, thanks. How fast is my internet? I have 1 gig. Yeah, there you go. Thanks Jay. Pretty common nowadays here in Singapore. I think they have 2 gig now actually, but 1 gig itself is a bit excessive already. When I renewed my contract, I even thought of going down to 500 because 1 gig is not that essential, at least for me. Even if I do daily uploads and everything, but it's kind of hard to go down when you've already experienced 1 gig, so I eventually decided to stick with it. Where that is. That's the weather at your house. 18 Celsius. Nice. Should be comfortable going outside, huh? Yeah, this is exactly how it goes as well. From Narita Airport, if you are a tourist, you take a train going to Tokyo. I can't remember which train exactly, but I think it takes around an hour in the train. It should take, and I was actually surprised with that because it doesn't seem far at all, but I guess that highlights the beauty of flying. Because you can fly mostly in straight lines. We are actually getting close already to Tokyo. And we should be... 1 second, huh? We should actually be getting close to Disneyland and DisneySea. That might be the first thing we can check out if it's simulated properly. I hope things have gotten enough time to get downloaded. 1 gig is never enough for 4K uploads. How large does the file size get for a 4K video? Like a 1 hour 4K video? That's usually dependent on the game, but it's a ballpark figure. Those buildings seem kind of out of place. They're a bit too high. I'm not sure if that's realistic. I have seen reports in the forums that the houses, mostly in Europe, have become buildings. So some of the countryside have gotten a lot of buildings right now. I think there is a bug in the Black Shark AI logic that they need to fix. Because a lot of people are complaining about that. loading screen is awesome. Oh, I know, right? It's such a... I got goosebumps when I first saw it. Sorry I couldn't show you guys, but yeah, the loading takes a couple of minutes, so skipped it. But it's great. I won't spoil it for those who have the sim, but you'll definitely spot it. It's impossible to miss. No Tokyo Disneyland that you could find before the world update. Let's fly over it now and see if we can spot some unique buildings. 8.7 gig. Alright, 8.7 I think is for the patch. Japan is a separate one. You need to go to the marketplace for the Japan specific world update. Because if you don't do that, you won't get the special buildings and the handcrafted airports. Alright, Bri, have a good night. Great work. Glad you're safe. And yeah, talk to us again next time for more trucking stories. Hey, Sonoma, thanks for 9 months, man. Twitch, baby. Is that still a thing? How are you doing? Let me see. Where is... Okay, Disney should be straight ahead. Wow, look at this. Wow. Now that would be something I would look forward to in Project Japan. My goodness. Spaghetti Junction. That's nice. You can also see the skyline from Tokyo here already. Losing altitude here. Check the new Western Star. Will do when it's released for SCS. Impressive attention to detail, alright. 49X. Is that the model number? Cool. I think what I tried in ATS before was the 4900 as a mod. Right, so if we go straight here, that road bends to the right and there's that bridge. But Disney... Oh, there's actually the landmarks there. Disney should be here on the left side already, but I'm not sure if they were able to put in custom buildings here. We will see though. We will see. I will slow it down. That's Disneyland in DisneySea. I don't think there is any custom building in there still though. I think it was not part of the handcrafted stuff, unfortunately. It looks like a couple of buildings, couple of offices and residential areas, that one. We'll fly over it nonetheless. Maybe we can get lucky, but I highly doubt it. You can kind of see it from the trees, from the roads. You can kind of imagine that it is an amusement park. But yeah, not very... Oh, there is something here. This is the... What ride is that? You know, with the kind of volcano? That's in Tokyo DisneySea, I think. And this, definitely this is DisneySea. Oh, that's cool. It does look very similar in some ways. That's nice. I like that. Not too shabby, I'll take that. Has been released by Western Star 3 hours ago. Awesome. Yeah. Let's wait for SCS's announcement. That should come pretty soon. Whoa. What's happening? What's happening? There you go. I think I enabled a smart POI kind of thing. Let's have a look at the bridge. Bridge shot incoming, guys. There's a Tokyo Gate Bridge here. which I'm trying to remember. Hello, update. Are we still live? Yeah, I think we're still live. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a party pooper. Now you get to see the loading screen. Oh, thank you, Microsoft. You know what I mentioned at the beginning of the stream? What horrors await us? Now we know. A little bit of it. You have been targeted by Disney anti-aircraft systems. Yeah, I think that's for flying too low. Disneyland Paris is not rendered in this sim either. Ah, I see. Someone can make it for this one too, I guess. That's where we flew. So that's our breadcrumbs, I think they call it. Flew from Narita. Tried in the track the highway here. E51. And that's Tokyo Disneyland DisneySea made a loop. Tried to go through the Tokyo Gate Bridge, was it? I guess it's somewhere there. But crashed. We'll try again. This time we can spawn in somewhere closer. Here maybe. Is this Haneda? Haneda. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I haven't flown through here in real life yet. There were a couple of times where we almost did because it's closer to the city. But I think ultimately we chose the Narita one. Can't remember why. Probably because of price. Ticket prices were probably more expensive. I was looking at the new truck. There we go. There's the loading screen. What happened is I purposely exited the sim just so I can show you the loading screen. No, but I'm not sure. This might be the bug that they were referring to. Because in the patch notes, they said that a random crash can occur if you don't show the VFR map. So what we'll do is we'll enable the VFR map upon loading, and then we'll just close it. Maybe that will fix things. We'll see, right? We'll try. Walt Disney World in Orlando is photogrammetry, which looks very nice. Ah, that's cool. Japan update has landed indeed. Hey Heelsman. Thanks for joining, man. How are you? At least I get to spend time hanging out with you in chat again, not too busy. There's Mount Fuji, there's where I want to go today. So we'll be exploring Tokyo and going to Mount Fuji later. Maybe you can share some real life pics along the way. If I can find it at least. Alright, let's see. Yes, the tail number is stored. I love it. Small improvement, but definitely appreciated. Romeo Juliet Tango Tango is Haneda. Let's see if we can spawn in there safely. Oh, and before that though, options, assistance. I think that user experience, VFR. Yeah, VFR map UI panel. Turn that to on. Apply and save. And then we'll just close it after we load in. We'll see if that works. Okay, Haneda. I do want to start. And wow, look at all these planes, guys. Look at all these real players. Cool. Let's go and get a ramp here. GA medium should be good enough for us. Where is that? Here? Is there no 1970? Is that how many parking slots there are? So if the winds are 2-1 at 11, then the 04 would be the best. That guy's taking off. Tech Ed leader. So maybe somewhere here would be good. Ramp 205, can that be a thing? This looks pretty close to the runway. Yeah, that one. I'll take it. Alright. Listening and playing OMSI. Nice. You can sing. Oh. Okay, be careful what you wish for. Ask the other guys here. Enjoy, Jay. Shouldn't take too long. it downloads and updates at the same time, or along with that, so it's not just a straight download. Didn't encounter any problems with the update though, so I'm thankful. Hopefully we don't crash this time. We'll see. I wonder what caused the crash. I wonder if there's like a log file that we can clearly see when something crashes. Well, we'll see. Interesting. Is my voice okay, guys, in terms of the volume? So I'm just looking at OBS. Maybe I just didn't realize it before. It seems lower. Well, that's good. At least I'm not reaching the red lines anymore. Up, up, and away! Go ahead and sing The Tequila Will Make You Braver. I think you guys will all regret it. Voice all good. Okay, thanks. Oh yeah, I'm the best whistler. I can do one for you while it's loading up. Perfect. That's the best whistle I can do. I'd rather down a shot of tequila than that. My goodness, all of these ILS approaches. So many runways. Haneda has even more runways. I thought they were speaking Australian. Close enough, mate. There's the VFR map. It's loading in, I think. There it is, taking shape. How do you know when it's safe to close it? Yeah, there should be something in the settings, I imagine. The smart, maybe it's in the camera settings. Smart cam is off. But why am I looking there? Interesting. There you go. Do I play OMS? Yeah, I used to. I got pissed off with the instability. Although it is still the most hardcore bus simulator out there, I just couldn't live with the roll of the dice. Okay, let's do all of that stuff again, but let's do the shortcut version. Beacons on, props and mixture full, throttle full, acknowledge the warning, that's all good. So that's all full, beacons are on, fuel flow, that peaks out, throttle ½ inch, clear prop. Oh, I can't reach it from here. Make that invisible. Awesome. Parking brake. That's why you have a checklist. Alright, that's good. Nav lights. It's around the taxi lights because I might forget. Panel lights, we turn that on for visibility. Avionics can go on. There we go. Can we tune into a VFR? Yes, we can. There's a VFR here in Haneda. 112.2. It's for additional guidance. There you go. Haneda DME, wind option 3. 19 at 9 knots. Runway 04 should be, well, 34 left. Actually, where I spawned in is quite far from 04. I just realized that, but that's okay. We can depart from runway 34 left. It's just going to be a bit of a crosswind departure again, crosswind takeoff. Fine. 337 is the runway heading. Okay. Help! Hey Pascal, how are you? Some days it's fine. Yeah, that's true. That's what I hate about it. Can never just go on a relaxing trip because it's always a roll of the dice. How are you doing, Kamaste? Have you tried the new update yet? We just crashed. For those who are just joining, cowl flaps, open that up. Smooth. Hopefully this time it's safer. New Western Star will be available sometime tomorrow. Oh wow! Awesome. Enjoy, Jay. Enjoy the update. Let me know when you find something cool. Taxi lights, did I turn that on? Yes, I did. I'm also excited to check out the updates in this patch in terms of the autopilot, the systems. If there's something new that broke. $18.86 gig update for you. Oh, very different. I wonder why. Mileage may vary, huh? 2-hour flight and crashed on the landing. My goodness. Did you have your VFR map on? Not sure if that's related, but I saw it in the patch notes. So what I did was I enabled the VFR map upon loading and I just close it after. We'll see if that works better. But we'll try to fly over the same points here in Tokyo. Try to check out that bridge and see. Wind tower. Oh, interesting. Right, holding short here. Landing lights, strobes are on. Did I forget anything? I probably have, but nah, that should be okay. Anyone on final? Nope, all good. Local altimeter is set. We do have a pretty crosswindy departure here. Right aileron, full deflection on the right. And as we pick up speed, I'll lessen that deflection. Takeoff power is set. $73 knots, rotate. Just bit by bit. There we go. Positive rate. Tap the brakes. Gear up. Correct the rudder. There you go. Awesome. Rainbow Bridge. So many goodies. Let's go and check out all those points of interest. But let's go and fly over this airport first because I think this is one of those handcrafted ones. Should have done that. Hey Rohan, how are you? Have you tried the new update yet? Oh, that looks beautiful. No flaps. Landing gears are up. Looks good. Landing lights can go off. Everything stays the same. Pitot heat. Nah, let's keep it. 1,500 closing in. Slow down the props. 2,500. And manifold pressure to 25 inches. What is the manifold pressure anyway? That's something I still have to read up on. Some planes have it, some don't. But for the Beechcraft ones, they usually have it. This looks beautiful, guys. My goodness. Waiting for the presidential debate to begin. Ooh. Look at you, all sophisticated. We are continuing the climb here, which is bad. Stick to 1,500 feet. That looks very nice indeed. I'm loving that bridge. That's the bridge where we crashed a while ago. Crashed the simulator, not the plane. just to clarify. Main update done. Now for Japan. Japan should be quick enough. Only 1 gig. Can we fly under it? Is that a thing? There's actually someone there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Guy must be on toga. What is that? Like a 70-degree climb? Oh, that's a VTOL. Oh, Rainbow Bridge. I know this. I had a video recording this because there is a train line here. Because you're coming from Tokyo, the main part of the city, and then you go on a specific train line, and that train goes around like that and goes through. There's that railroad line, I think, under it. But yeah, we went through here, and that's so cool. I recorded that part. Maybe I can find it and show you guys this part. Oh, that is so cool. Is there active pause? Will I regret it if I do active pause? We are losing speed bit by bit. We have to be fast, guys. If we crash, I blame it on active pause. There's actually a plane there. Alright. Removing active pause. Now. Google Earth they used and programmed the planes. It is in 24-hour accurate. Well, this is a piston engine, but it has the manifold pressure. But some piston engines don't, so I'm not so sure about. Oh, Yoyogi, I think we went here. And the name is a bit familiar because it's pretty unique. Oh, this is so cool. Although the buildings still look a bit low resolution, I think it hasn't downloaded the full quality yet. They look a bit worn down, a bit dilapidated. Yeah, they don't use Google Earth, probably Bing Maps. Them being Microsoft and all. They got the bridge model properly. That is amazing attention to detail. And yeah, the frame rate isn't bad here with all these objects. And with everything downloading and streaming and everything with my rig. Oh. Yeah. That is cool. Yoyogi National Gymnasium. I think we went to something Yoyogi, maybe the park, but not the gymnasium itself. That is so nice. Man. The architecture behind that, huh? Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. Now this, we are entering, they call it downtown area. Or CBD. In OMSI 8 hours, wow. Hardcore. Glad you're enjoying the sim. Cocoon Tower. Even some very specific buildings. Whoa. Whoa. The winds are intense. That's pretty cool. Oh, I like this. I wish they would do something like this for Singapore. I would be able to recognize the buildings. Due to the new photogrammetry data in the latest Bing Maps updates. Ah, I see. That's great. That's pretty promising, knowing that there are things getting updated ongoing. Just look at that level of detail, guys, in front of us. Oh my goodness. Now you see the entire city. National Diet, I need that. Let's have a look at that building. Cold KFC. What? 1,500 feet here. Keep that altitude. Going to use both hands on the yoke so I can keep it more stable. Can adjust more to the very abrupt wind changes. My goodness. National Diet Building. I wonder if it's slim. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I guess to set an example, it shouldn't be bloated. It does look pretty fit. I'll give it that. Even up close, the quality is immense. This feels like city skylines, but on a more detailed level. My goodness, it feels like Keralis built this. Full functional flight cockpit. Oh yeah, I envy those guys. Must have taken huge efforts, both time and money. Tokyo Sky Tree. I don't think we went up here. We normally don't go to the TV towers kind of things. Because they're very touristy and very expensive. But it is good to see from afar. And my main gripe about these things is when you climb up them, you can't see them. But then you can see the rest of the scenery, so that makes up for it. But yeah, normally I would want a picture of them instead of a picture of the cityscape, or looking at that from another perspective instead. Look at all those custom bridges in front. That is so nice. It's kind of hard to recognize anything though, because when you go to Tokyo, you go to specific buildings and spotting a specific, or going to a specific establishment and spotting that amidst all these, I don't think it's very feasible. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is amazing. Again, you can see ahead of us, you can actually see the cloud have its own shadow, right? It's a bit darker on that side. Oh, that is amazing attention to detail. The graphics in this sim is unbelievable. Tokyo Sky Tree. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. It probably didn't go there. Let's have a look at that bridge where we crashed, see if it will happen again. Staggering, alright. Both made the same joke. Great minds think alike. Go back to 1500. Alright, Gamer Mickey. 2 a.m, my goodness. Yeah, thanks for staying up late. Glad you made it to the stream, and have a good night, man. Enjoy the update. Tallest building in Japan. You'll have to help me research that, and we can find it together. Is it a building or a TV tower? Good question. Something to feed to Mr. Google or Mr. Bing. I want to see the video of the train. I'll try and find it. I'll try and find it later. The video of the train ride that I had through that bridge. You guys know that famous Gundam landmark? I think it's somewhere here beyond that bridge. So this is like the main island, and there's like I think it's a man-made island in the middle. That's what that rainbow bridge is connecting to. I think the Gundam is there. At least it was there. I'm not sure if the new one is still there. But unfortunately, when we went there 3 years ago, the thing was getting renovated, so we did not see anything. It was pretty sad. But yeah, nonetheless. And then I went to my first and probably last onsen experience. Somewhere here in this island also, there's like an onsen spa or something. Are you guys familiar with onsen? If I were to describe it in one hashtag, hashtag scarred for life. Not sure if I should go into details, but I'll let you fill in the gaps. Have you heard of the term that started that? Onsen. One guess why you can't go there. It's closed? I don't know. Tokyo Skytree is the tallest building in Japan. There you go. 2080 feet high. It did seem taller than where we are from. You were only at 1500 feet. Nice. Have a good night, Mickey. Thanks for the info and the spoiler. Bridge shot. That is beautiful. Very interesting design. And happy to see custom bridges making its way into the sim. Nice. Ooh, there's a runway. That's the airport we departed from. That should be runway 22. Is it? Yes. Most likely. Because it's 04 on the other side. Should be 22 on the other. Yeah, Tokyo. And then the most amazing sushi place, the sushi wet market, was somewhere here before. I think it closed already though, but I'm not sure if you can see it from above. Should be around these parts. Let me go and see if we can find something. Also in this island, let's go through. Let's trace this rainbow bridge all the way to the end here, and see what we can find here. If the Gundam is there, that would be nice if they modeled in the Gundam. I think there's also a fake Eiffel Tower here, if I remember correctly. And yeah, some models are not getting loaded properly yet. They're still getting more details in there. I think that's the fake Eiffel Tower. Over there. No, that's not the one. But yeah, there's like mini versions of them. That's so cool though. I hate this smart thing. One sec, guys. If I go to assistance, there might be that thing. Nav aids, smart cam mode. I don't want manual. I want POI markers, but I don't want you focusing me on those markers. Look, it's moving on its own. Oi! Oh, that's going to be very disastrous. It's locking on that point. Might be a bug. The smart cam is not. Oh yeah, look at that. It's turning on itself. Unless I have a key set to it. Maybe. That is so cool. Looks like there's something wrong with the sim. Looks like... How long did that take? Maybe it's somewhere in Japan. Maybe it's a server issue. Hopefully it dials down. I do remember getting these crashes in the beginning of the sim when there were too many players, too many server updates ongoing, and the server was busy. So maybe it's the same thing. Don't ever leave the stream, V3D. I think we have the culprit right there. Welcome back, Jay. How did the update go? Alright, so what we can do now is we can start from Haneda, but immediately make our way west. Look for the, what is that? The Shinkansen line, the bullet train. Look for the train line. Track that, because that will eventually lead us into Mount Fuji. At least the general direction. And then I can... Yes, I see it. There is a town right beside Mount Fuji where we went that offers great views from afoot. So we'll try it there. There also seems to be an airport near Mount Fuji. Ooh, cool. Yeah, let's try it there. Let's try to land there later. That's a good deal. We can blame those who aren't here. It's all Jack's fault. Turn off live AI players. That might be a good thing to do as well. You had to use multiple restarts after the update to load in your liveries. I don't even have any liveries. I removed entirely my community folder. Just left in the G36 updates. Yeah, thank goodness we have SSD. Well, GPU is always pegged at 98%, so always fully loaded regardless of where I fly. CPU is... well, let's see when we get there again. 2 building archetypes. Oh, so they put in the Japanese styled buildings. Nice. So let's see, let's double check. So I don't think it's the VFR map. So okay, VFR map is off, fine. The smart cam, I'm really hating that option. I might have something here though. Let's see. If you go to keyboard all, smart. No, not that. Here in the name. Smart. Toggle smart camera is S. I'm not really pressing that. Reset smart cam is Control F. Unset Shift T. Okay. Is there anything that's assigned? Toggle smart camera. Okay. What on the yoke? There is nothing. On the rudder there is nothing. Track IR. Mouse. Okay. So no keys assigned there, so it should not be doing that. Maybe I have to turn off POI. Let's turn off POI. Okay. Let's try this again. And this time we can probably spawn in on the runway. As much as other people flying hate that. Should we turn off AI, guys, or players? Let's turn off. Let's leave live traffic in, but everything else we turn off, just for better stability. Let's depart runway 04 right here. That should be good. This is worse than OMSI. That's very true. At this point, it kind of is. GPU settings. Well, I've been playing with these settings since forever, so I don't want to lower that and try fumbling around for each setting to see when it will crash. Explain better. It is better for simulation, but very bad in terms of visuals, especially the sightseeing, because it has a generic landscape everywhere, unless you buy the Payware premium handcrafted stuff. Here it's automatically satellite imagery with AI and stuff, so better for visual flying, But at this point, the instruments, the actual flight simulation procedures, they're still very raw. Granted, the sim is very new. It's still a baby. Only been what, more than a month since its release, so still quite a long ways to go in its development. Yeah, definitely agree. Stay away from those political discussions for the moment. So we're sticking to live traffic here. And I actually saw a United livery. Interesting. Okay. Full prop, mixture full. Flaps, no. Just keep those up. Alright. CDI, VOR. Localizer, okay. Bus is tied. Heading. Set that to current. Alright, let's depart from here. Let's see how stable this will be. Interesting enough, even if I keep only live aircraft, there are so many on the ground and flying. So it looks like the flights here in Japan are getting back to normal, at least from this point of view. Interesting. Okay. Keep it at 1,500 feet. Much better winds here. Much better winds, definitely. Minimal correction for crosswind component. Just applying the typical right rudder. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps are already up. It's good. Keep the climb going. Even though you made an official DLC for OMC. Oh, you're done with it too? Congrats on your graduation. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but after some time you start to look for something else. Alright, set local QNH, local altimeter. Turn here, westbound. Try and look for the Shinkansen line. I do see a large gray line there. Let's see if you can find it. Oh, we're actually beyond the 1,500 already. There's Mount Fuji already from this far away. Wow. We're actually lucky because Fuji-san is actually quite shy. Oftentimes, the mountain is covered with clouds because of how high it is. The probability that you see it all the way to its peak is very low. Nice. Tone those down a bit. Go back to maybe 2,000 feet is okay. Fine. Let's keep that climb just to 2,000. My goodness, is it windy though? Okay. How are the props? RPM is very low. Make that a bit higher. There you go. Should be good enough. Stop the climb though. So old and frustrating, I know, right? After some time, after being exposed to next gen stuff, once you go back, you kind of like, what is this? Yeah, gives you a different perspective. descend 2,000 feet, please. Let's go and test the autopilot a bit. So, heading mode, synchronize that to current heading. Let's go to autopilot here. Let's go for VS. VS down. And then autopilot. Oh, 1 second. Let me try this one. Heading. And if I go to the left, still not working. The flight director I'm expecting should bank to the left. Still not working. Crap. Okay. But if I turn autopilot here, then it will bank to the left. It's a bit of a shame. Fine. Okay. Stick to this one. Let's make use of autopilot and enjoy the scenery. Trucker for hire, yeah. When the mods are back, most probably I'll get back in there. But right now, not at the moment, because I need proper car mods and the quick jobs thing. Oh, what is this? It's actually a stadium here. Interesting. This is the... Can you see it? Let's go outside. There it is. Yokohama Arena. Oh, cool. Well, that looks custom made. Yeah. Definitely. That is beautiful. Okay, let's look for the train line. Honestly not sure which one it is. Should be here. I think it's this one. Is it? Beyond the river, it might be. But this sim and trains don't mix very well at the moment. So might not actually distinguish it so much. We might have to look for a different landmark. Where's Mount Fuji? It's gone now. Oh, there it is. We'll go there. Okay. 20 gig, my goodness, 30 minutes. Midori Sports Center. What's so good about this is they can easily blend in the AI built buildings and the handcrafted ones, and it would look super seamless. Very nice implementation. The future is bright for this sim. It's not yet quite there, but it's good to see. Okay, so how do we go? I do want to go via Lake Kawaguchi. Kawaguchiko. That's like the town near the mountain. So we can trace the highway. Oh, there's actually an airport here. What airport is this? Atsugi Aero? Atsugi Aero, Romeo Juliet Tango Alpha. Okay. But yeah, there is a highway that we will be coming across. I think that's this one in front of us. So we will be turning right to the north, and then we'll follow that all the way until we reach an intersection, and then we turn left to the west. So we'll be approaching the mountain from there, kind of. Yeah, CQP, depending on the setting, it could get very high. I don't notice personally a huge difference though, so I'm not very picky about it. I don't, I'm not that focused on details. Highway should be on the left. I love these fields. I don't know, even the fields themselves look very Japanese. Like the fields you see in Europe look very different. I'm not sure if it's the color, the shape, but it is characteristically different in some way. Just get put my finger on it. There's the highway beyond the river. See it? There it is. So we're just going to trace that. Maybe it's easier to track the river, huh? Actually, that's a good point. Maybe we can, if we track the river, it will on its own flow to the west. So actually tracking that through looks pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. Ah, I see. Good experiment. The fields are less but bigger. That's true. I think even the colors are a bit different, a bit more on the green side. Here it's more brownish, but that may depend on the time of the season, I guess. Cool. So where are we at the moment? Machida. I didn't reach this part when we went to Tokyo. We stayed mostly in the city center. Although when we went to Mount Fuji, to Kawaguchi, I remember we took a bus and the train, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm just not so sure which routes those are. My goodness, look at the highway here. Is that the highway? Might get a bit bumpy, guys. Please fasten seatbelts. Tokyo Extremo. Yikes. Let me sift through some of the photos I have. See if I can show you some of those. I asked permission from Mrs. Clumsy if I could show some of them. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm looking for the video on the train station though. Not sure if I showed you that before. This is Tokyo. Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay. Is there a video for it? I don't think there is a video. Okay, one sec, where are we? Yeah, there we go. We squeeze through here and through the river. That's this one. Remember the Rainbow Bridge that loops? This is part of it, if I remember correctly. One of the stations inside that island. I'm still looking for the video where it actually loops around, but I'm not sure if I saved that. It looks pretty cool though. Feels like Train Simulator. I can't quite find it. Let me see. If I go to photos here. Uy, too close to mountains. You might have to climb higher. One second, let me go through the videos. Okay, Okay, I saw the shots of... Yeah, when we went the first time, Mount Fuji was a bit cloudy. So you can kind of see the silhouette, but barely there. You'll have to like edit the photo. But at least we saw the peak a bit. Guess we go up. Interesting. 1 second. Where is this? Ah, okay. I think I was able to take a photo of the city while we were on the plane. Does that look quite familiar with what we've flown on? That does look pretty similar, doesn't it? The vibe. When I saw it the first time, it kind of looked like a photo from the simulator. That's nice. Let's try to find that one. Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. There's Mount Fuji, just looming over past these mountains. Looking good so far. We'll see if we need to climb later on. I see some clouds building up ahead though. Might need to be a bit cautious. Let's see. I can't find it. Oh, that's too bad. Let me know if I'm going to hit something in front, okay? Because I'm not looking there at the moment. Yeah, it should be this one. Oh, there it is. 1 sec. I think I saw it. Let's try to stay away from here first though, but I think I might have to climb here. Let's climb to what? 4,500 maybe? Let's VS it out. Good. Alright, I see something here that has... This is potentially that one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Probably. If this is the one that's looping around, that is. Not so sure. Might be a different video. Scott's one would have liked this. Going the opposite way though. Oh, I think this is where it loops. Let's fast forward a bit. Is it? Yeah, there's the road right beside it. That's the huge bridge. Pushing the throttle, so we're sure that we're not. That's the loop, I think. Yeah, that's the big loop. Might be. beautiful. You even have some like natural luck skies there. And they were able to make that properly well back there when we looked. Super cool. That is so nice. I know, right? Train is flying so much lower than we are. Have to be very careful. Okay, Lake Kawaguchi. We are coming close to it. We are at 4,500 feet here. I might need to lean the mixture a bit. Should be okay, I guess. Alright. Let's continue our climb. So this might be the bus we took going there. I'm not so sure, but I'll try to find that same place. Yes, I still remember this. We didn't come from here though, we came from the south. We're coming from the east. Let me show you the map. So this is Mount Fuji. This is where we are. We're coming from the northeast. We came from the south here, I think. Went up. But for us, we're coming through here. This is where we're going. Lake Kawaguchi. This is like the... And from here, you have a nice view of the mountain. You don't go near the mountain itself. I think that's only open during specific times of the year, maybe summer. But yeah, you go through to the nearby places, so you get a nice view of Mount Fuji. Let's see how it looks from here. It is taking shape already though, it's there already. So we can see it even from here. It's quite nice. And I think they sculpted the look of Mount Fuji, because even before the update, Mount Fuji was already there. But from the videos I've seen of people going there in the beginning of the sim, it didn't look too dramatic. It looked a bit standard, when ideally it should be super sharp, super definitive like this one. So they definitely fine-tuned and refined that look, make it a lot more closer to the pictures. Yeah, oh, that looks great. Let me find the photo of Mrs. Clumsy and I on that backdrop. Let's see if we can do a little bit of similar shot there. It should be nice. Alright, so we went, during our first time here, we went via train. I have a video of that, I think. Nah. Man, that's looking great. It's coming up now. That's the view from the train. Pretty close, right? Looks pretty close. But we'll see it from the town. See how it looks. If that compares a bit. Alright, let's go and look for Lake Kawaguchi here. Should be on our right. Slow down just a bit. Yeah, I think it's this one. It's pretty high up, huh? Yeah, this entire area. Man, it looks so small from here, from up here, but it actually is a pretty large area. It can take you the entire day just going around here. And you're basically going around the lake. There are different bus services that take you clockwise, counterclockwise, or different areas. But here is where that mainly is. The terminal, I think, is somewhere there. Oh man, I can spot it here. Like that is so cool. You can actually see it from here. I think there's a tunnel here on the road. If I remember correctly, there's a tunnel and then you punch through to the other side. Something like that. But from this angle, you should have a nice view of Mount Fuji right there. Exactly. That's exactly it. So active pause and take some photos here. Have a look at the speed. Speed is doing good, more or less stable. Let's take a photo. Is that thumbnail worthy enough? Let's take one shot like that. In one way, the lake look more visible. That works. Speed is no. Oh, hello, active pause. Turning off autopilot. Let's try and go away from here. Do some steep turns maybe. Watching my speed here. Alright, that looks good. Let's try and get closer to the mountain. Looks quite nice. And then we'll try and see what's on the other side. Where is the shadow facing? Let's turn on autopilot again. Keep that stable. Heading is okay here. I think we'll have to climb a bit though, huh? That seems to be getting higher and higher up there. Let's go and try 6,500 or 8,500 even. And then let's go on flight level change mode. Is there a flight level change here? Fuel quantity low. That's bad. Fuel quantity balance actually is not good there. Let's turn that to the other side. Is that working? Yeah. So let's climb here. Flight level change. There you go. And then the speed can be 100 knots for best rate of climb. Let's put it at 110. There you go. And then let me double check my climb setting here. Manifold pressure to full, RPM at 2,500. There you go. Mixture 18 to 20 gallons per hour. How do you measure that though? Yeah, something like that, I guess. Okay, looks good. Let's keep that climb going there. It is. Is that a river or is that a see-through model, like a disconnect in the model? Not so sure. Zoom out a bit here. You can see further. That's the peak. You can see. It's nice. lift off lid. It opens up, and then what do you call it? A Gundam appears from there. The Japanese secret weapon. Oh yeah, this one. Right. I think this is the one that was in the video. That was from the lake. Yeah, from the opposite side of the lake. But yeah, the weather today is much better than the one last time. It's a bit more foggy. Oh, that looks much better from this angle though. My goodness, they really made this work, huh? Handcrafted it all the way through. Very nice. Even the vegetation, all the trees are in the right spots. Cool. So if we go from here and we try to move, fly to the west, is that possible? I also see the Shinkansen line, so I think that might be a good thing we can try. Yeah, it does look like a bug, huh? It looks like water because it's sparkling, but I think it's like some kind of wrong texture, maybe, probably. See you on Discord, Husman. Yeah. For those who are new, feel free to join there as well. Oh, that looks beautiful. I think this is the best angle so far. Thumbnail shot. That works for me. Looks good. Are we at 8,500 feet now? Yes, we are. Oh, that's fine. I think we'll have to start descending though. If we want to trace the Shinkansen line, it will probably be better from way below. Start descending back to maybe 2,500. Let's try to go FLC again. And this time we pull back on the throttle so that the plane will be forced to pitch down to keep that speed. And that's how we lose altitude. So we can control basically the descent by moving the throttle only. Very handy. Not very accurate, but very effective. Instead of having to fiddle around with the buttons here, I can just move my throttle. Okay, what's in front of us? Let's see. Yep, plenty of civilization in front. This is actually, what is this? Fujinomiya. Not familiar with the place. But I am looking for the Shinkansen line. I doubt we'll be able to see any bullet trains, but at the very least the railroad tracks will be there. I'll have a look. We'll see. I like this plane. This is like the TBM, but on a very, how do you say, a bit more basic TBM. It's not turboprop, can go up as high, but very nice for viewing things like this. I think I'll start flying this as well. Might be a bit more practical as well for the shorter flights. Maybe cheaper, probably, most probably cheaper to maintain. It's just that the fuel level, the fuel is a bit, how do you say, it's a bit primitive, isn't it? You have fuel on left and right, on your left and right wings. But it only consumes one wing at a time, so you have to manually switch over to use the other one. It's a bit crappy. Bit basic, but I guess that's part of the flying. Okay, let's see. Should be in front of us already. I think it's that one. Can hardly see it from this altitude. But that is probably the one. Yeah, if I compare it with the map, this straight line right here where my mouse is, that should be the railroad track. So let's turn to the right here and see how we trace that through. Wow, looks like a very busy city as well. I'm not actually sure if this is part of the handcrafted areas anymore. But the winds are much more calm here. 6 knots only, yeah. Makes sense. We might have to climb again though, seeing what's in front of us. Or we go on the right here and just try and trace the mountains through. Yeah, because it looks like the Shinkansen line punches through the mountains, which kind of makes sense. Alright, XRS, have a good night. Sure thing. Enjoy, man. Catch you later. Let's have a look at where that goes. So that's the train line, I think. Well, they are getting submerged. The train line should be, I think this, is that a road or a train line? That's a road. This might be the train line. But at the same time, there's also one here. Right, this one I think. Yeah, it goes through the mountain. So that one we will not be able to follow. But we can trace a coast here. And then there's an airport nearby. Cool. Yeah, we can try that. There are some planes as well. Although I did turn off the multiplayer plane, so most probably those are just those are live traffic supposedly. Let's try and see if we can plug in some stuff. Should we test autopilot if it's working? Oh my goodness, that might be scary. Shizuoka. Nagasaki is where the trip starts. Remember that Discovery flight where you're flying the King Air? It starts in Nagasaki, so from the west, making your way to the east all the way to Tokyo. So I'm assuming there are handcrafted areas, bits and pieces all throughout the trip. I'm just not sure which exactly those ones are. Don't open the VFR map, that will be bad for us. Might crash. So far things look a lot more stable though. I'm not sure if that's because we left the busy area of Tokyo or if that's because we turned off the AI or the multiplayer planes. That might be where the troubles are coming from. That could explain it. Oh, there is an airport in front of us. Where? Supposedly right in front. Is it this one? Shizuoka Airport. I think it's that one. Seeing a couple of planes. Yeah, looks like it. And there should also be a Japan Airlines airliner, some kind of airliner, I assume, somewhere or left. 34,000 feet up. 35,000. Too close though, or too far rather, to see. The water does look a bit better. It seems to have a bit of form now. In the previous patch, it was all flat. So that's good to see, but it's still not as good as the first patch, I think, where you can actually see like the waves in the white areas. Here it's like, it doesn't look very natural. There's the airport. Doesn't seem like it's properly loaded in though. Maybe it doesn't have any specific... Oh, it's not even listed. It's not listed in here. Interesting. But it is in Little Nav Map, so I wonder why. Because Little Nav Map should have the entire thing. All the airports from Flight Sim. Oh yeah, it is there. Maybe if we zoom in. Ah, there you go. Yeah, it is. Romeo Juliet Sierra Zulu. Shizuoka-shi Airport. Yeah, that's the one. Actually not bad, this one, huh? Let's go for 25 inches of manifold pressure. Straight through here. Just hug the coast. Did they change Kyoto? Let me load in the patch notes. See what we can find. News and announcements. Japan World Update. Is that the one? This one. Let me see if there's like a full list of Japan areas. I see the patch notes, but not the Japan World Update notes specifically. Try and look for it. Where, oh where? Okay, we do have some stuff here. Hey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Not a lot of activity at the moment, but feel free to hang out and chill. World Update 1. Thanks for following, guys. Appreciate it. Feel free to start chat so I can greet you by name. So if I go through here, it says Japan features upgraded digital elevation mapping. Japanese cities: Sendai, Takamatsu, Tokushima, Tokyo, Utsunomiya, Yokohama, and 6 exquisitely handcrafted airports. Nagasaki is one of them. New countryside and pagoda-style architecture has been added. 2 dozen custom landmarks and POIs. Nice. Yeah, I think we don't have the full list quite yet. Nobody here but us chickens. Sounds good to me. It's a chicken stream. RJNS. Juliet November Sierra, where are you? That's the one in front of us. Shizuoka. Is that part of the change? No. Hachijoshima. Oh my goodness, all these pronunciations. Kirama, Koshiro, Nagasaki, Shimojishima, Suwano Sejima. Okay, nothing sounds familiar so far. So maybe not in this area. What we can actually do so that we jump in on the fun is we can land here and then we can try the discovery flight, because that way we'll be coming from the left, from the west, all the way to the west, so we can explore the new areas and be sure that those are new. Now that will be on a different plane, a plane I'm even more not familiar with, but just for the sightseeing purposes I guess it would make sense to focus on those new areas. So let's go and try and land here. What is this? Let's see if the plane has enough capabilities in the G1000 now. Menu doesn't work. Go for nearest airports. Nearest, there you go. So we can select that. Go direct maybe. Activate. There you go. Does it have an approach maybe or something? Select approach. No, there are no approaches. That's fine. But we want, if you want to see like the airport information, doesn't have many details in there, huh? (1,486 feet). Is that accurate? That looks a bit short. No, it's 4,876 feet. Okay, so that's not accurate either. Alright, so that's still bugged. Alright, I'm just going to refer to Little Nav Map because that's more accurate here. So Little Nav Map gets the details from the sim and then portrays them in the app more accurately. So I'm going to rely on this one. Winds are at 42, coming from 42 degrees at 8 knots, so runway 9 looks good. Okay, we can work with that. Hey Mac, glad you made it to the stream. How are you? Have you checked out the update yet? Actually, that might be a good thing. Instead of doing the flights, we can try and fly. Instead of doing the discovery flight, we can try and test out the updates in patch 3 since we have time. We can fly Nagasaki in those new areas but take the TBM so that we have a nice exploration of what's new if something got changed or got fixed. A good deal. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Glad you made it and found the stream also. The banking is a bit slow with autopilot. Did I remove the bank somehow? Maybe. Turn off the flight director, so I don't get confused. Runway 094 is the heading. Let's also tune in the VOR. There's the airport in front of us, you can see. VOR is let's see here. Let's attack. Okay, never mind. Let's just do it by hand. There's the runway. I think we're a bit too close here. Might be best if we join downwind leg. Let's fly over the airport first. Check how it looks from below. And see what we can do. Adjust from there. You can see Mount Fuji even from way back here. That's nice. We have very nice weather today, we're lucky. Can we see a windsock somewhere? Not really. But okay, we do have wind information. That's coming from 032. So yeah, quite crosswind. Shouldn't be that bad. Runway 09 it is. Right. Let's join the downwind leg for runway 9. The visibility on this plane is amazing. If you look to the back there, you can see almost everything at the back. That's nice. Right. Slow down here. Beat off some airspeed. Let's get a notch of flaps in. Lower the landing gear as well. Get that bit of drag. Yeah, I highly suggest removing all your mods in the meantime. Add them back in one by one. What I did actually was I moved my entire community folder out. I moved them out. So I only have technically one mod enabled right now, one that is updated specifically for this patch. Otherwise it can get a bit hairy. There's the runway, turning final. There it is. Approach speed on this plane, they say, should be 80 knots. Let's go ahead and extend to full flaps. Slow it down. Yeah, pretty crosswind, but it's crosswinding the other way. There you go. So I'm expecting the nose would face the left rather than the right.
500.
Check. Let's try this out. Landing gears are down, right? I think so. Still approaching like a TBM, 85 knots. No poppy lights, no nothing. We're on our own. Should be okay. Pretty straightforward landing. And we shouldn't need the entire runway. We'll need to do just a bit of side slip here. Let's correct the rudder just a little bit. Oh man, that's floating man. There you go, that's not too bad. I'll take it. There's the windsock. How come I didn't see that a while ago? 1.51 gig, there you go, thank you. Okay. here. Where's the parking? Left side probably. Clean it up. Oh, I forgot my landing lights. Actually, it's still open. That's good. Smooth landing. Doesn't happen often. I did the first landing on my Bonanza a while ago. It was not smooth at all. Thankfully that was offline. So the cameras didn't record any of that. Also, in terms of the traffic pattern, I'd say that's not bad for a traffic pattern, huh? Not too shabby. I like those breadcrumbs because it gives you evidence of how smooth or how rough you've flown. Nice. Empty flight. The taxi behavior is much better now. I like it. The brakes are much more responsive. They're not as sticky. So good. Where can we land this thing? So what we can do next, I can take the TBM for a spin so we can compare it in the patches. I can do like a semi VFR or IFR flight, however it works. And we'll see. All these ground traffic though, I really hate it. They're everywhere. They block my entire view here. Yeah, let's just stop here. Good. Awesome. If there's one thing I really like with the patch so far, it's the taxiing. Feels much more natural now. That looks great. Okay. Avionics can go off and mixture goes off as well. Good. One leg done. Now I think the weather bug is still there, but we can try it just for science. Normally my second flight, so when I load up the sim, I do a first flight, everything's good, live weather. I go out, go back to the main menu, and then I load the second flight. It doesn't go well. So we'll test it, we'll see if it's still bugged or if it's been fixed since. 1 Charlie Lima. This plane that I flew, it's the Bonanza. The G36 variant. I think the A36 is the one with the steam gauges. The G36 is with the glass cockpit, the G1000. So let's go for Nagasaki. Not Maga, it's Nagasaki. From Juliet Foxtrot uniform. Let's start from the ramp here. One of your customers owns a Bonanza. Oh nice, how are they liking it? Do they fly often? I think it's a very famous plane because it's a piston engine, so it shouldn't be super expensive like the jets. But it performs very well. Loves it, flies regularly. Oh, that's great to hear. I think I will be flying it often too, like, because as much as I love the TBM 930, I don't think normal people can afford this unless it's like your business, or you know, it seems like, I think it costs like how much, $4 million, this TBM 930, pretty closer to jet price. So not very practical, and that's saying a lot given the planes. All planes are quite on the expensive side. So one sec, I want to check what other handcrafted airports there are so we can go there. So it says Nagasaki. Let's see. Hachijojima? Hachijojima. How far are you? Yikes! Okay, that's not the one we want. Wow, it's actually way back there, huh? Is there a way to filter that out? The handcrafted airports? There seem to be stars there. RJFU Bridge. That might be a landmark, huh? Okay, let's try. Let's just search for them one by one. Kerama. That's way up down there. Oh, that's actually pretty close to the Philippines. I can fly there in the on-air series. That's promising. Kushiro. That one is 906 miles to the northeast. Interesting. All the way up there. Also, it's really all throughout Japan that they built these handcrafted airports. Nice. Nagasaki is where we are. The other one is Shimojishima. .546 nautical miles to the southwest. That's even farther than Kerama. And what's the other one? The last one is I don't have hopes for this. Suwanosejima. Oh, that's closer. Yeah, that's feasible. Going to the south there. Suwanosejima Airport. That's I think more promising. But look at that. It doesn't even have the wind information. That's one of the hints that the next flight you're doing, it will not have live weather. So I think one workaround before, which I think is still applicable now, is go clear skies for now, load it in, and then go to live weather. I think that way it works somewhat. Okay, let's go and pick low altitude airways maybe. Do you have different departures here? Well, I doubt we'll be able to finish the flight. So we'll just plug in something and we'll probably not even follow it. Order for departure. Arrival direct. No approach. No. Okay. Fine. Okay, let's follow that one. Why is it 11:26 a.m. but night sky? Might be a bug. Okay. Let's go and check out this airport, Nagasaki. Clear that out. Nagasaki is over here. Let's see how flexible the flight planner is now. They did not, I don't think they put in any patch notes about the AVO. No, they did. G1000 and G3000 improvements. Yeah. Let's see what's included there. Patch notes. General Aviation Avionics. G1000, 3000 fixes on flight plan entering. Duplicate waypoint page. G3000 now possible to activate approach legs. Ooh, nice boots. There we go. Our favorite TBM 930. This is the handcrafted airport of Nagasaki. Interesting layout. wonder how that works. Runway 32 is where we want to go. And that's way back there. Okay. 325 degrees. Okay, let's try and observe if there's anything that changed in the patch. Still don't have the boot up sequence initially. You have to power down and power up again to see the boot up sequence. So that's still a problem. Minor problem, but still not fine.
Aural warning, okay.
Strobes on. Let's double check here. Everything looks normal so far. FMS, nav source, put in the wind. In terms of MFD,
system test, okay.
the flight plan is blank again. There you go, and it loads up after a while. That looks like a very weird departure. I have my doubts that's the real thing. Let's compare it with Navigraph and see if they got it right. All are 4 departure in Nagasaki. What's the AKU code for this thing again? Romeo Juliet Foxtrot Uniform. Come on. Nagasaki. There it is. Beechcraft Bonanza has been in production longer than any other aircraft in history. Oh, is it? I've been hearing a lot about that plane. It's great to hear about that. Maybe there is a reason for it, huh? It does seem very reliable. One of the... Let's unload this flight. Oh, fine. Let's just display it then. That's the airport. Looks pretty accurate so far. And the SID that they want us to take is Oller for departure. Let's look at this one by one. Shikoku 3, Nagasaki reversal. Oh, this is the one. Oller for Romeo. Huh. Let me see if there's something accurate. South 7. Oh, this is the closest one. So departing to the north, we track 331 degrees. Then there are a couple of different transitions to Iki or Fukuoka. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward though, but we do have this one. What is this? Let's read. That's if you're departing via runway 14. But if you're departing via runway 32, climb via Ole 331 radial. So 331 radial from Ole VOR to Pearl. Cross Pearl at or above 6,000. But if you are using the Fukuoka transition, it should be at or above 8,000. So it should be pretty straightforward. But I don't get why that looks like that though. Since 1947, and yes, that's older than me. I haven't even said anything yet. Okay. So in the flight plan, let's have a look. Ole. That's the Ole. Wait. Is it here? Oh, that's Nagasaki. That's where we are. So it's going back here. I don't quite get this flight plan. It doesn't look right still. Yeah. But I guess it's not that bad if you compare this side by side. Yeah, maybe it's not that impossible. Because if you compare this, let's do that side by side, okay? This departure, 331 radial, so that's this leg, up to Pearl, so this is probably Pearl, And then the transition is icky. Looks like it's icky because Fukuoka is over here. We'll double check that. But from Ikishima, we go back to Nagasaki and then proceed. This is a roundabout route. Not very practical, but maybe for clearing traffic purposes. Let's have a look at that procedure. So if we pick runway 32, Oller 4, there is no transition. It looks very different. Maybe the flights are not very accurate. Okay, fine. That's okay. It might be more of the ERAC cycle inconsistency. I knew what you would think. Not saying anything. Aux boost pump is good. Let's see if we'll notice any differences. Starter is on. It's all the same so far. NG 13%. Introduce fuel. I love the engine spooling up sound. We should have had our pushback first though before we did anything, but that's fine. 51% NG. Engine is good. Oh, yeah. Flight idle. There you go. Bleeds auto, inertial separator on, nav on. Boost pump auto, fuel selector auto, EP trim on, oxygen mask on for the pilot. And we are good to go. Taxi light on, parking brake off. Let's see how the feeling is with the taxiing on this plane. Because in this plane, I am very familiar with how the taxiing feels, and it feels all wrong. Is compared with the Hotstar TBM 900 in X-Plane. Okay. Inertial separator is on. Not so sure yet. Let's see if there's any difference that I can recognize. It does seem a bit better, not as sticky. Allows for more fluid taxiing, I think. Controls are free and clear. Slow down. Yeah, if I did that turn before, I would have done a full stop already because of the sticky brakes. It's not that intense anymore. That's good to see. Okay. Let's go up to flight level 300 just to check the ITT. How the ITT behavior, if it has changed or anything. So right now, I don't have any livery set, but you have a United livery right there. So they might have gotten licensed from United officially now. That's cool because I believe that's one of the plans that they had. Nagasaki, oh that's so nice. That looks pretty authentic. I would imagine that's how it really looks. Cool, the tower and everything. Runway 32, the start of runway 32 is all the way there. Do we have strong winds? No, it's okay. Flaps set for takeoff. Turn on the heaters. So we're nearing the runway here. I'll turn on the landing lights as well. Taxi behavior is indeed much better than before. Still wrong logic on the TBM though. At flight idle, you should be moving already. What is that? Are those approach lights? Interesting what that is. A waving crab fecko? I like it. Oh yeah, indeed. The taxiing is much better. Thank you. I love it. Now that feels more fluid. Okay. Looking good. So there is no wind here, interesting enough. A while ago there was. Set the torque 50%. RPM is still wrong. That's fine. Release. I was not really expecting that to work. At least not immediately. Flight director is on. Let's go nav mode. Keep center line here. 90 knots will be our rotation speed for this plane. There you go. Oh, I know why it's no wind. Because I'm on clear skies mode. Yes. Forgot about that. Oh, beautiful. You even have all these solar panels kind of deal. That's amazing. Flaps up. Positive rate gear up. Almost forgot about that. Your damper is on. Okay, and now let's put in the live weather. Does that work? It kind of doesn't. If this is a 2.9 or 9 or 2, yeah. That workaround doesn't work. No wind for the win. Yeah, unfortunately. Flight level change mode. Let's just follow the magenta line. Whatever it's trying to do. Yeah. The flight director still isn't banking and the autopilot is off. That's irritating. That's fine. Right, autopilot on. Now it banks. No, he isn't. Oh my goodness. The dad jokes are back. Okay, so far no change on the TBM that I notice. Since we have clear skies here, might as well torque it up. Clear the inertial separator and I'll observe how the ITT behaves. We'll be flying over the airport in Nagasaki as well, although we'll be pretty high up. So it will get quite not as detailed. Alright. Now the plane is going to do a 180, going back the same way it came from. 26k. Well, for 10k you can decide where we go next. Scotsman and Tom, they gave their recommendations, so we'll probably do that next stream. The original plan was to do that this stream, but it got superseded by this one, by Japan, so we'll do that next time instead. 116.6, turn on the VOR. There it is. Headed right that way, perfect. So let me see, torque behavior. We're at 99%. As we climb, the torque should go lower. With the mod that we introduced, that got fixed, but now that I removed all the mods, I'm expecting it's still broken. Yeah, we're at 100% again. It's still broken. There's the airport. Nagasaki. It's in the middle of nowhere, huh? How do you even... Oh, that's why there's a bridge. Okay, so the ITT is still broken. So not much sense in testing that out further. I don't think I'll do the full flight. Instead, let's just do and explore this area. Turn off flight director here. Scratch that flight plan. Let's just enjoy the scenery, guys. Let's descend here and circle around so we get a nicer view of that bridge. Yeah, there's the bridge. We can see it a bit from here already. Yeah, for sightseeing purposes, the Bonanza has much better visibility than the TBM. Like here, the wing is getting in the way, and if you look back, you only see one window out. With the Bonanza, all those windows, you still have perfect visibility. So I think for sightseeing, if you're not planning on traveling somewhere far, the Bonanza will work pretty well. And the YouTuber that I am watching right now, he flies a Bonanza. He shared, it's an old video like 5 years ago, but he did a tour around, I think he's from Iowa, so somewhere in the Midwest, is that right? For those from the US, guide me a bit here. But he did a flight all the way to Idaho, I think. Went on to San Francisco. So he flew west, and then he flew south to San Diego in California, and then flew back east, back to Iowa. But it took like, I think it was around 3,000 miles all in all. But yeah, so the Bonanza is capable enough of those far distances, just not able to do all those, like, go beyond in terms of altitude, because I think it's not pressurized. So he flies at around maybe 8,000 feet along those lines. I was pretty much in the middle. Okay, got it. That's correct. Bonanza is a fast plane. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it can go based on the specs. I think it can cruise at around 176 knots. Just what, 200 miles per hour maybe? Somewhere along that line. Doctor Killer. Why is it called the Doctor Killer? Let's turn on the points of interest here again. Maybe we'll get a bit guided with where to go. POI markers. But yeah, the Bonanza is fast becoming my new favorite. At least for short flights. The TBM is still a very good all-rounder, but it's going to be harder. Oh, look at that. There's even a Nagasaki, like, how do you say, sculpture, grass thingy there. Oh, that's cool. Nice view of the built-in, the handcrafted airport. Because they are expensive, many doctors buy them. And they are fast enough that they get ahead of newbie pilots. Ah, I see. So are there a lot of accidents caused by the Bonanzas? These newbie pilots? There it is. The Nagasaki Bridge. Those were approach lights that we saw. Runway. Look at this. This is super cool. Spiraling descent. I love seeing the breadcrumbs like that. Let's get a bit closer, maybe around 1,500 in terms of altitude, so we can see it up close and personal. And since we don't have any weather, at least in terms of sightseeing purposes, should be pretty close. There are lots of accidents caused by overconfident pilots. I can imagine that, because there are so many things that can go wrong, And if you don't study well, if you feel like you know everything already, that can lead to a disaster very quickly. How do they get their licenses though? Maybe they know just enough, to get a license, but not really enough to survive and handle the complex stuff. There's the airport from up close. All those solar panels and the carvings. Alright, here we are, 1,500 feet. Keep it level here. The bridge itself isn't that fancy looking though, does it? Is it? It's like I keep looking for the arch. There is no arch. It just looks like a plain bridge, but it has a different color. Not that flashy. I'll take it. For a PPL, you can get them fairly easily. Standard license isn't too difficult to get. I see. Yeah, then I guess they should be more strict with that, huh? Yeah, when I was watching Aviation 101, he has this, what is it called? Grassroots series, where he wants to give the message that the GA, the general aviation industry, needs to step it up in terms of safety and have to follow more the airliners approach. And he gave some stats, how many fatal accidents there were in the GA industry, in the general aviation versus the airliners. Airliners had like 3 accidents for the past 5 years. GA had like 300. The numbers are not exact, but you get the point. So yeah, that may be saying something that needs to change. This looks very interesting, that highway network there, crisscrossing. But I do want to see the bridge. I think there are some bridges here. Let's see if you can go through there. If you haul passengers, then it's much more strict. You need the CPL for that, huh? If you're planning to make it as a job. But for PPL, it's a lot more lax. But I guess even so, they still have to be strict because you would be flying with other people in the vicinity. And it's not only your safety, it's theirs as well. Yeah. I guess it's a constant work in progress, huh? Your customer flies passengers are used to. In the Bonanza? Oh, nice. Yeah, I guess you could literally go cross-country in the Bonanza, huh? Travel coast to coast. I mean, if Josh Flowers can do it in a Cessna 172, how much more in a Bonanza? Angel flights. What does it mean? Angel flight. I know the angel investor. Goodness. Have a good night, Hillsman. 4 a.m. Thanks for staying up late for the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy. Get some rest, man. Medical emergencies. Patients for special medical treatments, I see. I saw a video of that. There is a YouTuber who does that as well. And especially now during these times, I never thought of it that way. But the patient, I think, had a medical condition and they needed to get operated on, so they had to be transported. They had to fly to somewhere, to a hospital. And side note, I'm going through here because I see a very large bridge up ahead. I'm not sure if that's handcrafted, but we'll test it out. But yeah, this patient was not advised to fly with the airliners, with the normal airliners, because of the entire situation right now. They are very fragile because they're sick. They need to get operated on. And yeah, adding on top the complexity, the risk of contracting the virus if you go the normal route is not advised. So what they did is, I think they hired one of those angel flights. So the YouTuber was flying. I'm not sure if it was a Bonanza. Maybe it was your customer. But yeah, they were flying the patient, and it's nice. This perspective of flying, even the general aviation industry itself, it has very specific uses. It's not only for leisure. Actually can serve a very functional, very humanitarian purpose. It's nice to see. Not just a hobby, but it also is, very much so, a very expensive hobby, I can imagine. Okay, so this looks like a fake bridge. The only part that's a bridge is that small part there, and the rest is, I don't know if that's like fake land. You know that, I don't know, how do you call it? The manual, the handmade land. Is that the technical term? Handmade land? Yes, for sure it is. Family for medical reasons, even donor body parts. Yeah. Oh wow, he turned 80 already. Wow. He must have loved that though, huh? He now flies rescue dogs to unite them with families. That's so cool. Oh, but he's still flying. Oh, that's amazing. Is there no age limit for flying? For flights? That's so cool. Rescue dogs and unite them with families. Man-made land. There is a term for it. I forgot. No age limit in the US. I guess as long as you pass the medical, huh? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Shouldn't discriminate against age. As long as you can pass the medical. You flew, right, Alex? Did you fly regularly, or was that like more of a one-time thing? There are pilots in their 90s still flying. Ooh, cool. Wow. That's amazing. How about for driver's license? At least there in the US, do you have an age limit? Flew a couple of times. Must have been awesome. I can imagine the type of planes you were looking forward to flying. Maybe similar taste as with cars. No age limit for driver's license either, I see. He flies Delta. No. I have been tempted multiple times to try out flying in real life. I will probably look it up again. I remember there was a time when I started to explain, after a month or so, that I really got hooked into it. I looked into the flight schools here in Singapore. There's actually one that's fairly close here where I live. Not so sure about the price though. I was too scared to look at the price, but I can imagine it's astronomical, at least from my perspective. But maybe I'll have a look at it again. Would be nice to get some real life experience, at least even on smaller planes, just to compare it with the simulator, get a bit more insight in there. Always nice to be able to compare it with real life. Cessna 170, 1948. Wow. How about the paper plane? Have you ever flown a paper plane? The one that Jack loves? 12 or 15 years. Nice. PPL costs around 10,000 USD. Phew. And on top of that, all the but that 10,000, does it include the school, or is that only like for the exam? Because you would have to go through lots of studies first, right? Ground school, practicals and stuff. Yeah, that's a good question. It's a graduate already. How come we don't see any of those landmarks anymore? I think I went the wrong route again. I should have just gone on that that discovery flight. I really wish you could choose your plane there without having to go to developer mode. Include school. That's not bad if it includes school. You think of other schools that easily can cost up to that much. Maybe I can save up for it. I'm not so sure though. Maybe because I have trouble understanding the local accent, right? Until now, because I don't go out of the house. And if my instructor has a strong accent, I might not be able to understand them. Might not be very safe. Time's up. We'll land here in the next airport and call it a stream. Romeo, Juliet, Foxtrot, Sierra. Nearest airport would be that one. Airport info. We have runways. 6521 feet. How come this one is accurate? 11, 11 and 29. Okay. And since we have the typical 225 at 3 knots, we can basically land anywhere. But let's go and land on runway 29. So let me put that as the heading here so I have an indication. Let me also look in little nav map. So let's go and pick that. Direct. See if that works. Activate. Oh, that works. Hey, that actually works now. And it replaced all in my entire flight plan. That might be working properly now. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. 11 a.m. hype. And then just like that, Scott's on his back. Okay, where have we gone? Here. 114.75. Tuning the VOR. Should we bother? Yeah. There's the VOR. If you go direct there. Even that direct I think works now. I'm not sure if it worked before. Okay. Looks good. Live weather is still bugged on the second flight onwards. The first flight, for me, always works. So I have to restart the sim every second flight. Push it, Chewy. Inertial separator is coming on. Let's climb to 2,000 feet. Just to get better view up there. Runway heading is, need to zoom in a bit. 286. Where's the airport? There's the airport right in front of us. 286 on the heading. Perfect. Okay, there's the VOR right in front of us. Inertial separator is on. Let's join the downwind leg right here. Yes, fake weather should work. That is still working, but it's just such a hassle enabling it, because if you put in fake weather, like for example you just want some clouds, that's easy enough, but you'll also have to tune the temperature because it also has a preset temperature. So oftentimes if you do that in the Philippines, you would end up with like 15 degrees, which is not realistic. So even the temperature itself is not accurate. Here we go. Turn off the yaw damper. Try that course again, recentering the course. That actually not too shabby. I'm not sure if it works properly yet, but fine. It's the runway. Go for first notch of flaps. Push forward on that yoke. Landing gear, keep the hand there. That looks good. Yeah, so it looks like the plane itself is still raw. It doesn't not really a lot of changes with the plane itself. I will be sticking with my mods for sure, as long as they are made compatible with this latest version. There's the runway. Approach lights are there. Oh, there's the river lift bridge. Right as we end the stream. Oh, never mind. We will be too far to spot that anyway. Okay. A320 flight next. Can maybe, but at this point it's not even compatible. Ah, we're too high, too fast. Full flaps. Let's see if I can catch it. Let's do a forward slip here. Thrust to idle, full right rudder, and then left aileron. Oh yeah, we can make it. So that we can lose all that altitude without diving and building up airspeed. Perfect. Alright, bring it back. That should be workable. Gear, inertial separator, flaps, yaw damper, looks good. 85 knots, keep that at 85 knots. There's the ILS tuning itself in. We're just getting detected. Supply a bit of right rudder here. There you go. Alright, that looks good so far. Go to flight idle bit by bit. Floating a bit, but I'll take it. I will take it. Missed the first exit, that's fine. Go reversers here, and the other exit is up here. And off we go. Butter. Not a center, but I'll take it. At least it didn't plop down. with clear skies, it's much easier. So thankful for that. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Even though we had a bit of trouble looking for the specific landmarks. It's nice to see Japan here in the sim. I'm a bit disappointed with the patch itself. There seems to be not a lot of fixes put in, but we'll test those in more detail in the coming episodes in YouTube for those who are not following me there yet, feel free to do so. ! YouTube. Lots of flight sim videos. More to come. We will be testing out the patch in more detail if it's more accurate with the flight planning and everything. But this Direct 2 looks pretty promising. At least you don't have that double magenta line, the thick in the thin line anymore, which is very strange. But yeah, aside from that, in the better taxi behavior, doesn't seem like a lot has changed so far. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll explore more further. If you have more info, guys, let me know. And we'll fumble around with it together. Another volcano-less stream. Well, there was a volcano, technically speaking, Mount Fuji. But thankfully, we didn't have to go too close to it this time. At least we went close intentionally to it. Oh, that got detected. Nice. Interesting. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Thank you guys for joining. And catch you on the next one. Clumsy flying, guys. And bye-bye. Thanks for staying up late. Have a good one.